and welcome back to Leonard Creek Farm. Alrighty guys, we are up at the garden. It's been sprinkling and raining on and off. The rain started last night and hasn't really stopped much. Maybe just an hour or two in between. And so I'm going to get up here in the garden, I guess, just trudge the mud and get us some tomatoes. It looks like there's quite a few tomatoes laying down on the ground. And those need to be picked up. Just haven't had time to get in the, we just haven't had time to get in the garden. And so, it needs God. See, tomato. We need to pick, some tomatoes today. I brought a small bucket, and I think that'll be enough for the Romas, but I'll have to get a bigger bucket, for the larger tomatoes. So, we're just going to dig right in and get started. I wanted to flip you around and show you what we're working with here. The plants are dying, but we still do have a few of them that still got green ones on them, but we need to get these red ones. And then we have a few tomatoes on our larger plants that need picked. Them flowers just look so beautiful. So we're going to dig right in and get started. Something's got in and is eating on the tomatoes again. So they're knocking them down on the ground. I believe it's the chicken. We'll throw those aside. It's just me out in the garden today, so I'm going to take my time. Andy and Lakin have went to go fishing for a couple hours. They're going to come back probably around 4 o'clock. We've got to go meet somebody to pick up the baby rabbits. Believe it or not, it is time for them to go. And so somebody bought 7 of them. We're going to keep 2, and somebody bought 7 of them. And so they're going to be going to their new home today. And so they went on a little fishing trip, and they'll be back in time for us to run those to the next town. You know, I know a garden's a lot of hard work and stuff, and I know you just, sometimes you get tired, and it's just, I don't know. By this point, a lot of people are complaining, about how much work it is and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, this year, I don't know if I've complained about it in years past, but this is just, I don't know, I love this. This is just, this kind of stuff is my, peace. It's peaceful to me. Like, people have hobbies, and I don't really have hobbies. I mostly just, I don't have hobbies. I go to church and take care of my home and, do the housewife duties, and I farm, and I have my animals, but this is like just a few months out of the year, this is my hobby, this is what I do. And so, people have ways to relieve stress and things like this, like that, but this is mine. This is my stress relief. Andy loves going fishing, and it's relaxing to him, and just different people have different things. Some people crochet or make stuff, but this right here is my crocheting. This right here is my fishing. This is just, I wish I could do it all year long. I wish we lived in a place that I could do it all year long, because I just find so much joy and peacefulness, especially, when I'm out here by myself. This is just, I love it. I love it. I love being in the garden. I love working in the garden. So, anyways, we're going to make our way through these plants. This plant looks like it's done. I don't see any blooms where green tomatoes are going to come on, and it's all the tomatoes that are on it are ready to be picked. And so I'd say this plant is done. I thank the Lord for it, and kind of sad to see the plants going, but we've got more coming. And so, but the garden year is about come to an end. This has got a spot on it. Something ate it. The garden is about come to an end. And so, it's just one of those things. Like I said, this is my favorite time of the year. But all good things must come to an end, I guess, as the saying goes. There's a song that's running through my head, and can't really think of the name of it, but it goes, I think it starts, there is peace and contentment in the Father's house today. There's food on the table, ain't nobody turned away. And it got me thinking. The song goes on to talk about how people are just so content after they get saved. Or it could just go for, worldly things, just living a life of, just going through life, but how they want to do it. But we got to find our peace, not only in this life, but we have to find our peace with the Lord. And it's our job as Christians to talk about the Lord and starting to sprinkle again. So I was talking about how this is my peace here, how this is my garden, that the garden is my peace, and I don't mean that this is the only peace I have. This is my peace here on earth, but I want to be sure that from this day and days past, and until I leave this world, that I have that peace with the Lord that I need to make the right decisions to make it to heaven. My goal is to be with Jesus, and so it's good to have those hobbies and things. I was talking about going fishing or crocheting or gardening being your hobby. It's good to have those things, but we need to make sure that we not only find peace in those things, but most importantly, we find peace with the Lord. And so I don't want to just find peace in this world that has plenty, as the song goes. It says the house is, a house full of plenty. I don't want to just find peace in the plenty. I want to find peace in the Lord. I want to have a piece of Him and peace with Him when I leave this earth. So, anyways, that got me thinking. But nothing against gardening, nothing against crocheting, nothing against good, healthy hobbies, but just want to make sure that I'm right with the Lord and have peace in Him as much as I have peace in this garden, if not more. Y'all know what I mean. You Christians know what I mean. But anywho, let's get back to work. Okay, guys, this little green one fell off, but this is what we got of the Romas. If I didn't miss any. So we're going to move to this outside row here and make our way back in to get these bigger tomatoes. I weighed a tomato the other day. This one might be about as big, or if not bigger. That came out to 2 pounds and 10 ounces, if I'm not mistaken. It was a pineapple tomato. I don't know what happened to that. It was a pineapple tomato, and I think it came off of that plant right there that's leaning. It's probably got weighed down pretty good. This tomato is still blooming, Looks like it has green tomatoes on it, but we're going to have to tie some of these up now that I'm looking at it. So I might come in here with some hay string here in a little bit and grab and tie some of these up. I forgot about these Roma plants over here, so we'll have to grab those up. But we're going to make our way through. Also, side note, my shoes are soaked. Can you all hear them squeaking? My shoes are soaked through the bone, and it is starting to sprinkle. Maybe even try to rain while I'm recording. But I love it, guys. I love it. But like I said, this is my spot. This is the place I want to be. So we're gonna make our way through. It's starting to sprinkle pretty hard, and so I don't want my phone getting wet. So maybe instead of starting on the outside there, I'll set you all up where you all can see, and I'll work on this inside row here instead of the outside. That way you all don't have to sit outside in the wet and and ruin my phone. And so it's a little bit heavier for a sprinkle than it has been doing since we've been in the garden. And so we don't want to ruin our device. And so we'll get in here and have y'all sitting in the shade. That's what we got in that row. The sprinkling's calmed down some, so, well, I said that. It feels like it has when you're out there in it, but it might not have. Might have to wait a minute, that way I can take you all with me. A few of the tomatoes had some bad spots. I went ahead and pulled this one because the chickens are getting back in the garden, as you can see by that spot there. And a few of them that y'all just seen me throw, they're getting them. This is the ox heart. I think I had showed you all in another video. That's our first year growing these. I was curious about them. I think what I'm going to do with these tomatoes that I've picked today, maybe do another Canaan day. If I get enough, I'll probably do another Canaan day. If you've seen the last couple videos that I posted, me and my mother-in-law Gina were in the kitchen and did a big Canaan day. I think altogether we spent about 9 hours working in the kitchen together, and so it was a long day. And then that day we canned, and while we were waiting on the cans to water bath can, we came out and picked the corn, the first 2 rows, and we probably got about between 80 and 100 cobs of corn. I didn't show you all that because it was a long day, and we were wore out and sore by the end of it. But we picked about 90 or 80 to 100 cobs of corn, and we shucked it that night, washed it that night, and then while I was washing, she was cutting it off the cob, and then the next day we put it in freezer bags and froze it off the cob. Those, what are they called? The vacuum seal bags is what we put it in. Alright, it looks like the rain's died down, so we'll move you all out here, and we'll get to working in them first couple rows on the other side. That's a beautiful tomato. Beautiful. I've noticed on a few of these tomatoes, they have these white spots on them. Anybody tell me what causes that? I don't know. I'm sure it has something to do with water, because we've had a lot of rain. This one was a little stuck. I believe this is a Mr. Stripey. It's done busted open. But alright, y'all, it looks like it's time to move on to the second row. We got one plant hiding down here, and then we'll just move our way up through this center row here. It looks like there's not many through the middle, but there is some on the end, so we're gonna make our way through. The plants kind of took over these two plants here and kind of shaded them a little too much. That one back there, it produces, but it's got a lot of shade, and then this one is a little bit smaller because it caught quite a bit of shade. But it's okay. It's well worth it to look at these beautiful plants. They're beautiful. Alright guys, I went ahead and walked through that center row there. I knew there wasn't much, so I didn't want to have to carry that camera and try to carry the tomatoes because it's hard to get the basket in and out of there. And so I went ahead and walked through, and we got that center row done. I think next, I seen a pepper that was touching the ground over here. I need to grab it. And there's a pepper that was turning red. I'm going to go ahead and grab it. Don't want nothing touching the ground, so anything I see touching the ground, I'm going to go ahead and pull. So let's see what we got. See, it's got mud sitting on top of it. Too low to the ground. So we'll go ahead and pull it, even though it's small. And I thought I seen a red pepper. Over here. We got this one turning red. I think what we're going to do next, Lord willing, is let's move on to the cucumbers and see what all we've got in there. Here's the basket so far before we move to the cucumbers. I'm just going to leave it over here. I don't really want to carry it, but look how beautiful that is. Them colors are just so pretty. Anywho, we're going to make our way over, and y'all can walk with me. We've got beans coming through here. Looks like they're not doing too good on the bottom there. I don't know. Gina's picked a few mess out of these white half runners. We've got some onions coming up, and these are beans as well. These are maybe tenderettes or Blue Lake, some kind of tenderette bean. This is our hay tater patch here. I think the chickens are coming in and digging up potatoes, which is unfortunate. So I'll probably have to get in here and get these two before they turn green like this. So that's what we don't want. And so I'll probably get in here and pick up a few more hills today. And let me see, we've got some cucumbers. These are the little ones. Those are the good cannon sized ones. And if you notice, this last row is got corn on it. The tassels are not brown yet, so well, that one's got a brown tassel on it. But majority are not. Here's a cucumber. Looks like I'm going to have to get another basket. I wasn't expecting much. You know what? I might just leave the cucumbers on. Gina will probably want those, if I had to guess. Although we've got a big cucumber laying back there, I do need to get him. Don't want him to go to waste. And so I think next what I'm going to do, though, is go ahead and get me a basket of some sort and get me some potatoes picked, because if I don't pick them, as you can tell, the chickens are picking them for me. They're everywhere. It's really aggravating. So I might just go through and go ahead and just get as many good potatoes as I can. Alright guys, we got a little bucket here. I'm going to go ahead and start on these potatoes. Just going to dig through. A lot of the vines have died and been ripped up, moved around and stuff, and so I'm just going to dig through with my hands, and if I find a potato and it looks alright, we're going to put it in the bin. So let's work through them. For those of you that was wondering how well the potatoes did in the hay, here's your here's the digging up the hay, the potatoes in the hay video. These were Kennebacks and red potatoes. That has green on it. These were Kennebacks and red potatoes, and honestly, they did really well. We're getting good sized potatoes. I mean, they're not huge. They're actually perfect size in my opinion. And they turned out well. It's a lot easier to dig through this. I honestly liked it. I probably wouldn't be digging all of them up right now if our free-range chickens wasn't getting in them. But sometimes you got to pick your battles, and so I'm just going to pick my battle with this one. We've got other potatoes that we put in the ground, if you haven't been following along, and so we've got multiple potatoes still to pick. But as long as you keep these potatoes peeled up and covered, they do great. Those are great size. And so we're just going to continue to make our way through the rows. We've picked, the potatoes back this way. So I've got kind of a general idea, but we're just going to make our way through and get as much as we can. Alright guys, here's the potatoes. I'm going to go ahead. We've got some vines through here that need cleaned out, and so I'm going to go ahead and try to clean this best I can. That way Andy can get his mower in here and we can get this good mowed up. I just spilled the potatoes. We can get this good mowed up. Let's see if I grab it both hands. There we go. Andy can get in here and mow and clean this up here. This hay is done, and Ricky had said something about maybe putting something else in it, and so we'll see. But we're going to go ahead and try to clean this edge up here. Boy, don't that look much better. I'm going to leave that pile there. Maybe Andy can just mow over it. But we got just a little pepper plant there, and I decided to leave it. But that looks really good. It's ripe for planting next time somebody wants to get in there and plant something. I think I'm just going to grab that bigger cucumber. I'm going to go through here and look and make sure I'm not missing any really big ones. Grab that bigger cucumber and leave the rest of the cucumbers for my mother-in-law. She's canning, she's pickling. She's doing 14-day pickles. She's done got 2 big batches. I don't know if she'd want these or not, but I don't want to take them because I don't have room for them. I'm giving them away, guys. I don't have room for them. and so I don't want them. So hopefully she can use them, but I'm going to go ahead and just grab that big one, and then might turn you all off, but I think I'm going to get me some hay string and tie us up some tomatoes. Guys, what I'm looking at, I'm really distracted because there's a big yellow butterfly over here, and I can't tell if it's alive or dead, but I'm going to flip y'all around and let's see if it'll be still for us. Are you dead? Nope. It was alive. Those ochre blooms are just gorgeous. They're so pretty. Well, guys, I think that we're going to wrap this up. Here's our bounty. You'll see. There's our bounty there. Maybe we can get some canning done. I know we've got some tomatoes here that are getting soft that are up in the house. I'll probably take those and a few of these, and we will get these tomatoes. Hopefully we won't waste them, is what I'm saying. I guess we'll get these all worked up. So I'm going to leave probably her the harder ones and take the softer ones that are in the house. We'll do a little switcheroo. But y'all, thank you for hanging out with me today. And like I said, this is just my favorite. This is my favorite time of the year. Y'all have heard me say quite a few times, this is like Christmas to me. This is just happiness. This is what makes me happy. And so I thank the Lord for it, and I thank you all for hanging out with me, as I work in my happy place. So I appreciate you all, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.